Oh, hey. Now I don't know how to start it. And we go. Okay, welcome to episode 4 of the Why Bitcoin podcast with me, Jeff, 7-foot fiend, and Papa Baron.
Papa Baron.
Welcome.
Oh, sorry. That was your thing?
I don't know. I never know if I should introduce you or if you should just introduce yourself, right? What makes more sense?
I think it depends on whether or not we want to be like the cool duo that like finishes each other's sentences or like not the cool duo.
Yeah, I think we're like the cool duo, but we're also kind of like an argumentative couple all the time, arguing for who wants to be the leader. So it's like...
I mean, I'm just saying, you have to be the woman in that couple, that's all.
Sometimes I'm the woman, and sometimes you're the woman. But either way, it's fine.
All right, this is turning weird already. We're not even like 5 minutes in.
Well, we gotta start with joy because I think we're gonna get upset later. That's all I'm saying.
Let's try not to.
Let's try not to. Okay, so today on the show we're talking about why are altcoins, also known as S and then 3 asterisks coins. Why are they good or bad? A question a lot of people have. A lot of people are...
Okay.
Did I just what?
Did you just self-edit?
Yeah, I self-edited. I think we're going to be a no-swearing podcast.
All right.
We'll think about it. We'll bleep it. We'll bleep...
I feel like that's a... I'll tell you what. I feel like we could at least say the word shitcoins because that's an industry term.
It is an
And
industry term.
If we hate it, then I'll go ahead. I'll bleep that out.
Okay.
But otherwise, I think at least shitcoins are allowed to be said.
All right. Also known as shitcoins. Why are they good? Why are they bad? Which ones are good? Which ones are bad? Let's talk about it. I have opinions. You have opinions. And I am mostly on the side of they are bad. And
We define our terms first because there are some folks that don't know what that means, what a shitcoin is.
Okay, so a shitcoin is a shitcoin is basically anything, not basically, a shitcoin is anything that is not Bitcoin. It, how do you feel about that definition of it?
I think that there are those coins out there that are more stable and have more respect in the community than others. I'll tell you this.
Yes,
Let's do this. Let's start off with something we can both agree on, okay? And that is the likes of Dogecoin. Now, maybe you guys have heard of Dogecoin out there in the listening audience. I think that Jeff, and I'm still getting used to that. Jeff and I are both in agreement that Doge is a shit coin, and all the memeing in the world is not going to make it a valuable coin. Can we agree on that?
Jeez, I don't want to disagree with you on everything, but I wouldn't say... I would agree with everything you said until the factor of it could be a valuable coin, because it can be a valuable coin.
No. Oh, you think it could be a valuable coin someday?
It is a valuable coin today.
No, it's Dogecoin?
Yeah, to some people it's valuable. You'd have to define valuable. People have made a lot of money on Dogecoin.
Okay, but those are profit takers. Those are not... When I'm talking about good coin versus shit coin, we're talking about things that are sustainable, things that there's reasons behind why people find them valuable. Dogecoin is a meme. I mean, it literally was started as a meme.
Yes. Okay, so let's do this then. Let's do this. Let's start with defining what a coin is really quick. So I just kind of wanted to get this out. Basically, Bitcoin is just a program, right? Oh, this is also important. Sorry, my head's all over the place today. Bitcoin is a program that runs on computers. Bitcoin is two things, Bitcoin with a capital B and Bitcoin with a lowercase b, which is where a lot of people get confused. Bitcoin with a capital B is the program which all of the transactions are happening on, and Bitcoin with a lowercase b is what the actual token of the program is producing. So when you buy Bitcoin, you're buying tokens that are called Bitcoins, but you're running it on the Bitcoin network. Just like with... So that makes it easier to understand something like Dogecoin, which is running on I think the Dogecoin is also running on the Dogecoin network. I don't know if there's another name for it. And then you trade Dogecoins. Whereas with Ethereum, you're running on the Ethereum network, but you're actually buying something called Ethers. Are you
Okay.
are you still there?
Yeah,
You
I am. Yeah,
disconnected for a sec.
I might have disconnected for a second, but it's okay now.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's one thing people need to know is what they're buying, because when people say like you should buy Bitcoin, and then I think that from that step going into Ethereum, one issue. Okay, so speaking from my point of view, one thing I got confused with right out the gate, knowing nothing, was okay, I bought Bitcoin, I have Bitcoin, I'll buy Ethereum, and now I have Ethereum. You don't actually have Ethereum. You can own Ethers, which is fine. Those go up in value. But
Mhm.
Ethereum, the network, is where most of the value from what that program is doing is coming from. And you don't need to own Ethers to take advantage of that. That's one reason I don't care about Ethereum.
Okay. And I'm gonna plead a little ignorance in the sense that I know that uh, the Ethereum network is a protocol, and I know there's a thing called Ether or ETH is sometimes called, and there's also gas. There's a component of that called gas. But I do know that from what I understand, the Ethereum network is important. And guys, if you're in the comments and you have a different opinion or a different piece of knowledge, please share because this is a communal learning center
Yeah,
here.
that's what we're all about, is just learning.
Yep, absolutely. But from what I understand, Ethereum is valuable in the sense that it is allowing for decentralized finance, which I believe we talked about in the last episode.
Yes.
But the idea that you can now set up loans and um, insurance and all of the things that circle around the financial industry that you're familiar with from a dollar standpoint, Ethereum is making that possible from uh, a crypto standpoint, and that's why I think it's important.
So I agree with that. That Ethereum has, so where Ethereum came from is it took Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is an open source program, so anybody can just open it, look at it, copy it, and fiddle around with it and make something new and launch it as something else, which is what every other altcoin is. That's where the blockchain tech comes from. So Vitalik, the guy that started Ethereum, took the Bitcoin code, looked at it, and said, I can do a little jazz over here. I can add this. I can make this happen. Ipso facto, here comes Ethereum, that is a much easier to modify programming program, I guess,
Hmm.
for other developers. So rather than a developer go into the Bitcoin network and start from scratch, Ethereum kind of just skips a few steps where they can just jump in and start using the Ethereum network and fiddle with that. And they're already 7 steps ahead of the game. The same way Windows 10 makes it easier to use a computer than whatever the first, like, where it's just
I think
all.
maybe a better example would be more so to the idea of, um, and again, if I'm wrong, please someone correct me. I'm happy to take the correction. But the way I would look at it more is HTML is to Bitcoin as like CSS would be to Ethereum. And those
Okay.
of you who know what I'm talking. Well, see, cascading style sheets basically was a way to manipulate HTML, okay, in a much broader sense, and it gave you more control at a higher level, I guess. So again, maybe the analogy is not perfect, but that's the way I kind of understand it to be. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know, the Bitcoin maxi in me is just like, yeah, but the analogy would work better if you say Bitcoin is to binary language as Ethereum is to C++ or whatever.
maybe that's accurate. I don't know. I'd have to really dig into it to know, but I guess my argument is, in for those of you that are following us on the Twitter, which by the way, quick advertisement. This week's sponsor is brought to you by Why Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin is now on all of the major platforms, pretty much. What is it? Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, uh, like find a podcast place, and we're probably on there now. So look around, tell your friends why Bitcoin. Okay, so
Awesome.
back to it. If you follow us on Twitter, you'll see that he and I, and maybe it was our, or we're on Discord too, guys. You can
We
find
are on
us.
Discord.
You
We're
can find us on
everywhere.
our Discord. We're everywhere. There's so many places I forgot all the places.
So many places to ask why Bitcoin.
So, so yeah, if you can't find us, it's not our fault anymore. It's you guys' fault. Yeah.
Nice.
So Jeff and I got into it a little bit on Discord.
Yes.
And the what's the crux of the argument? The crux of the argument is you think every other coin is bad other than Bitcoin.
Yes.
And my argument is I think that other coins have a purpose. And keep in mind, when I say other coins, we need to be clear. There are, I believe, thousands of other coins.
I think it's around 8,000 right now, growing every day for sure.
Right. So everybody and their brother has gotten a hold of this blockchain technology and decided, I'm going to make a new coin. And
because it's fun.
So, and then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that then there's again, we're going back to there's so much to talk about.
Yep.
But when I say things like other coins are valuable, I'm talking about things like ethers, whatever. I think Litecoin has a place. I don't think that's too far out of reach to be valuable still. I think there are some other things that are coming up. Hold on, let me pull up my app here.
So do you have a reason why you think these other coins that you like are going to be valuable? Do you want to give a quick little spiel why?
Well, sure, if you want. I mean, you're going to shit on it anyways, but...
Well, no, okay, so that's what I'm trying to do. This is before the show we were talking about. We're not trying to come across as arrogant assholes to either one. We want to learn, and when you learn something that you really understand, it's frustrating to hear somebody make a counterpoint where you just know they're wrong. But they're also, you do also...
I don't want to be an asshole, but I hear you when you're wrong. And no, I'm kidding.
But like it's like staring at the sky and you see it's blue and somebody tells you the sky is red and you're just like, no. It's just, no, you're wrong.
Well, I think for you and I personally, I think the differences are probably more philosophical than technical.
Yes.
And my argument is, and this is something that we did. So the other thing is, guys, our Twitter account, we both run it. So just for point of reference, if you see a J after a post, it's Jeff posting it. If you see a D after it, it's Doug posting it. Just so we're clear, because a lot of times Jeff says something that I'm just like, man, I can't just let that go. I gotta.
I'll also add to that in saying that if there's no dash in a letter, it's likely me because I still forget, but I'm working on it.
Also, if that happens, then generally it's more neutral comment that we both tend to agree with.
Anyways, if it's a neutral comment, I'll just throw it out there because I know. But if it's something aggressive, I try and pin my name to it, which I think is also I think it's funny to do that. We just have the same. We have one Twitter account in an argument.
The thing of it is, though, honestly, Jeff, is this idea that this is a whole new universe. Bitcoin's been around for a while, yes, but in terms of its wider acceptance, in terms of it being an impact factor on people's lives, that's new, like really brand new, right? Like within maybe the last 2 or 3 years, people have really, on a broader spectrum.
Yeah, more people have.
Right. Okay. Sure. Yeah. There are some very early adopters who obviously had their lives changed, but we're talking about like
a lot of
walking
people.
in and you're talking to the people you go to church with, or you talk to the guy at the gas station about it now. Like we're getting to the point where it's becoming much, and it's exciting, and no one knows what really to expect from it. So I think these debates are good and healthy to have, as long as we're both willing to be wrong when whatever shakes out.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. I agree with that. Okay, so with that said, can you give some reasons why?
Here's my arguments. Okay, number one, Ethereum is, and I'm using that term as the general. Ethereum is, it is a new iteration of Bitcoin. Okay, and there is lots of early adoption from other countries. I believe I read earlier on that Russia is going to start pegging its ruble or whatever to Ethereum. I know that there are other smaller countries that are looking to do that as well. So there is something there that will give it legs. There is the idea that a lot of this DeFi stuff is tacked to the Ethereum, coding and stuff. And I mean, just a general broad statement, it's just like Bitcoin in the sense that people think Bitcoin is worth something, therefore it is worth something. And people think Ethereum, maybe not as many, but people think Ethereum is worth something, therefore it is worth something. So, and so that's my value on Ethereum. As far as Litecoin, um, I think it's just like it's not as good as, and it's a very small portion of my portfolio. But here's why it is. Because I do think as the other two big dogs, we'll call them, when they go up in value, other things go up in value. But I can get it at a lower price point, which means I can buy Litecoin. Let's say, so like I bought some Litecoin at 160. When it hits 320, I can turn around and sell that for twice the profit and then go buy more Bitcoin, right? Something that will actually be valuable. Okay. And you can do that with a lot of the lower end shitcoin kind of things where it's just speculative. Okay. There's value in speculation, and you can't pretend there's not, because you can take something like $10 and turn it into 100. Well, what do you do with that 100? That's up to you. If you stay in your shitcoin and then it goes back down to, 5 cents, well, then you speculated, you gambled, and you lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's all of that, and this, and then we were talking about stuff like silver and gold and all of these, and land, and we've talked about all these things before. And the reason you do that, in my opinion, is you have to have diversification. For too long, and this part I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me, too many people, a majority of people, have only found themselves invested, quote unquote, in the dollar or in the fiat, whatever their fiat is,
Mm-hmm.
right? That has screwed us. It has screwed us all. We were taught from an early age, just save your pennies, save your dollars, right? Save your loonies or your toonies, okay? And then you'll be fine at the end. It'll all just magically work out. Whereas if we had been buying and diversifying our fiat currency, then it wouldn't sting so bad when the inflation hits, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's a good policy, and you don't know what's coming down the road. And to just throw everything into Bitcoin when it's possible to do it. I know you're doing it. You're paying for things. I know Didi's paying for stuff. He's totally on a Bitcoin currency. But it seems like making the same mistake of the past, and banking so hard on the future that is unclear. We're not sure what's going to happen in terms of regulation. And we're not sure what's going to happen in terms of, these companies. Like what if these big companies go belly up, right? And then suddenly Bitcoin is super devalued. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not as locked in as it's not locked in enough to be all in committed only on Bitcoin. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's my argument.
I see where you're coming from. Your main point is diversification is good, right? And I would agree with that in the sense of, yeah, you should own more than, like, you should just own more things than just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is meant to buy things with, right? So
Right.
you should buy a house if you want a house, or you should buy a car if you want a car, or you should buy gold if you want gold. I don't, like, it doesn't matter what you buy, but it's nice to have more than one thing. You will not survive if you're just sitting there and holding on to a hardware wallet and all you have is Bitcoin. So I agree that it's good to buy other things. Um, the thing about buying the shit coins, as it were, I guess we'll talk about Litecoin first. Sorry, I didn't get a glass of water.
As
That's
far as
okay.
I'm concerned, Litecoin is just probably in terms of Litecoin is just like the best brand name in terms of shitcoin,
It
right?
is. It's the it's the
That's
first one. I basically, if you're on this path of Bitcoin, you find Bitcoin, you're like, ooh, this is cool, and then you find Ethereum, and then you say, ooh, what's this? Oh my god, I found gold, and then you find Litecoin, and you're like, oh, I found something nobody knows about yet,
right.
and it
Like
feels
this
really
is the
good.
secret one.
Yeah,
But the problem is Litecoin's been around for what, half a decade, maybe
yeah,
longer.
yeah.
You know,
So,
so and people have gotten so burned on Litecoin that you know, but
so,
it fluctuates. It goes up and down.
so the only iteration Litecoin did as opposed to what Bitcoin was doing, uh, which makes it different than Ethereum. Ethereum did a lot of things different. Litecoin made one very simple change in that it changed the speed at which transactions are processed. So if I want to send you a Litecoin, it will take less than 10 minutes to get to you. That's it. That's all it does. And to some people, that was very important, especially back then. It's already become obsolete now with the innovation of the Lightning Network, which
Right.
really bothered me at first because when I was first learning, I thought like, oh, Lightning Network, Litecoin. I guess these two are connected, and that was right after I learned that ethers were what you bought when you were on the Ethereum network. So I was like, okay, well, and then I found out that the Lightning Network just works with Bitcoin. It's just like, here's moving
Right.
Bitcoin very fast and efficiently and for free and all of these things. So that's good. So there's no need for Litecoin anymore. It's not filling a need. It's not doing anything other than being speculative, like you said, where
And I would pretty much agree with that statement. I do want to caveat something really quick though. I think that if whoever invented Litecoin had the balls to pull a Satoshi move where it was, listen, there's only going to be 20 million Litecoin, I think Litecoin might have been a Bitcoin killer, just based on what you said there. If suddenly I could transfer, but then my value couldn't, because Litecoin has no cap, as far as I understand, right? Like
I think
you
it
can,
does have a cap. I'm pretty sure
does
Litecoin
it?
does have a cap. Ethereum
Okay.
doesn't. I that was one thing I looked into is which shitcoins have caps, and I think Litecoin was one of them, which made me think like, okay, well at least you didn't take that
Mm.
part away. That's a
All right.
that's a major deal too. We can. Do you want to talk about why that matters really quick?
No, no, you go ahead. I'm actually going to look that up real fast while you're
Okay.
chatting about it.
So one of the things people change when it comes to making an altcoin is in the main program of Bitcoin. It just says right in the programming language, it says 21 million will be produced. After that, stop making more. It's that simple of a line of code. But it's a very, very important one because everybody in the world now knows how many there are, which makes the value go up. That's basically supply and demand. If you can only get so much of it, the value of it goes up because you want it more and more and more. So you'll do more and more things or pay more and more fiat dollars to get it. Whereas with Ethereum ethers, there's no cap. So at any point, they can just say, let's make 10,000 more ethers, and they're out in the world. Or, okay, so to take it to an extreme example, Dogecoin, the one we were talking about earlier,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it produces, I think it produces 10,000 new coins every 10 minutes. It's something ridiculous. It goes up in like
Yeah.
the amount available goes up by 50% or 500% every year.
It goes up
It's
so
not,
much that it literally can't get past it, that's why this whole let's get Doge to 10 cents. It was or a dollar. I mean, come on, guys. It was printing them so fast it was always going to be, it devalues itself faster than it could be,
exactly, kind of,
into
yeah, kind of
people's
like the
pockets.
American dollar or the Canadian dollar. It just
It's
devalues
getting
so
close, man. We're
it
getting close.
devalues
Yeah.
so fast that you can't
Right.
support it. It's
Well, it's
true.
it's yeah. All right, so just point of order here. Bitcoin network can never see 21 million coins, which, as we know, is actually probably going to be closer to 15, 16 million because of the loss in the early years.
Mm.
Um, whereas Litecoin apparently can accommodate up to 84 million coins.
Okay, so he
So
just changed
it's
the
it's
number.
four times it's four times the product. And their argument here is, let's see, uh, it sounds like a significant advantage in favor of Litecoin, but its real world effects may prove ultimately to be negligible. Um, Mostly their argument here is that because Bitcoin can be diversified by millions, then it sort of makes up for the lack. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So I read a
That's
pretty
that's this Avestopedia's argument, I guess.
cool. So yeah, to explain that in simpler terms, I read an article where somebody's like, he could have just made it one Bitcoin. Like it could have just been there's one Bitcoin,
Yep.
and people all have a piece of this Bitcoin and can be divided up this many times. So the amount of actual coins there are doesn't really matter. What matters is how much it can be divided up into,
Correct.
and the final amount. So yeah, basically there's 21 quadrillion sats in the world, and a sat is a 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. So there's a whole lot of these little, I don't know what to call them, sat. There's a whole bunch of sats around for people to grab, and they're all going to go up in value indefinitely, basically. Whereas with Ethereum, there's in a couple of years there's going to be more Ethereums to get, or Ethers rather, and in a couple of years there's going to be piles and piles and piles of more Dogecoin to get. So it doesn't matter how much you hold now, there's going to be more. So it's going to be easier for people to get them. It was such an important thing for Satoshi to make that
Oh,
cap.
it absolutely was, because people, if the idea, which from everything I've read about his history, quote unquote, which is all pretty much apocryphal, but um, if the idea was, look, we don't want another fiat currency that's just going to be printed out of existence, then you have to put a cap on it. It absolutely is necessary. So so in that regard, I can see where people would be very leery of Ethereum, but I don't think, again, I'm not sure that that's necessarily the value of Ether is, or the Ethereum is the coin itself per se.
Exactly.
I think Ethereum is more like the stock market, where if you're invested in it and it goes up, you reap benefits, but you're also gaining benefit from the fact that it exists in the first place. Does that kind of make sense? That was kind of an
Yeah, no,
awkwardly worded
that's exactly what
sentence,
it
but
is. You're going to benefit from Ethereum existing in the world. You don't have to own any Ethereum to get the benefits from it. Other companies are going to use the Ethereum network to make better products, and you can benefit from them. Like the DeFi thing, they made it so that you can, yeah, loan out Bitcoin and get US dollars back. All these programs are because of the Ethereum network. But an individual like me or you owning Ethers ourselves, we don't need to own Ethers to take advantage of those networks. Like you just,
no, that's true. That's true. But again, it becomes sort of a speculative thing, right? When I first bought Ether, it was at 800. Now it's at 2,000.
mhm.
So my Ether has increased in value. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like, so again, it's one of those things where whatever coin wins at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna be able to buy that with the others, kind of a thing. So as long as it's not truly speculative shitcoin, which admittedly I'm literally gambling with Litecoin. I know that, you
yeah,
know.
it feels good to
Um,
gamble. People like
right,
gambling, and
right.
I think
I
that's, yeah,
have, if Binance hadn't been such a pain in the ass, I definitely would have loved to own $10 worth of Doge just for the shits and giggles, like
yeah,
legitimately, right? So I think there's a value to that too, in the sense of just like, I want to feel like I'm doing something. I want to feel like I'm part. Now I can see where you could be um very leery, and we definitely did talk about the fact that a lot of these shit coins are very dangerous, in the sense that they are literally created to scam people out of money. They're
yes.
literally created to become a pyramid scheme. um
Here, can I speak on that because I have
yeah, please go ahead.
okay, so, oh, I don't even know if I've told you this. My first day, actually, probably day zero, maybe day -1 of my days into Bitcoin, I went to a friend's house that I had known that was in the Bitcoin world, and I was on my way home from work. I text my wife, I'm like, we need to talk to so and so about Bitcoin because this is, I think something's about to happen. And this was middle of December. So we go over there, and I'm all excited because this person's very educated and knows how to speak well. And I'm like, I just want to pick your brain a bit and like tell me things because I learn best when people are talking to me. I don't learn from reading books. I have a hard time reading articles. I like having somebody to talk to. So I was like, you're going to be my person I talk to. And then they proceeded to kind of blow off Bitcoin, just be like, oh yeah, don't worry about Bitcoin. It's too late for Bitcoin. But let me show you this new coin that we have that solves everything. And you have to remember, I didn't know anything about Bitcoin, therefore I didn't know anything about altcoins. So to
Okay.
me, I was like, oh, this is the next big thing. I didn't, I, okay, here, to pause for a second. How long into researching Bitcoin did it take you to learn about altcoins? Like, did you know about them coexisting at the
I
same time?
actually I actually did.
Okay.
I actually had a friend who I had a couple of friends actually who invested fairly heavily in Litecoin about 5 or 6 years ago. So
Okay. Cool. Okay, so I didn't know. So I was completely ignorant to it, and they sat there on the couch talking to me and my wife and just being like, here's what's going to change. It's so much better, blah, blah, blah. And then they went to a whole pyramid scheme spiel um, about their coin. And I'm like, oh, this is a pyramid scheme. And of course, like pyramid scheme people do, they say, oh, no, it's not. It's different than a pyramid scheme because, and then they talk again for another 20 minutes. And then you're
Right.
like, yeah, no, you guys are just doing a pyramid scheme. You shouldn't do this. This is bad. Like that's
Right.
literally like I'm pretty honest. I'm just like this is a this is wrong. So then we went home and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna check out their site and I'll just see what it's like. We opened the site and it's just like big block gold letters like, oh, get like everything's amazing and everything's shining in gold. I'm like, this looks
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
sketchy. Are you and
Right.
I was talking about, I'm like, why would they make it look like this? This looks like a scam. And I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, why are they making it look so shitty? Why wouldn't they make it look good if they're trying to do something real? And then I clicked. I'm like, oh, because it is a scam. This is a
Right.
pyramid scheme. But these people, it was a wife and her husband. They were working together, and they were both
Do
just
you do
they.
you want to mention the coin?
You can't even find it. It's called.
That
Okay,
sounds awful.
it, it
Doesn't even have the word coin in it. What?
it was called and you got tokens, and then they had a company called and they were selling. Okay, and then here's the kicker. So the scheme was they were like, you can get these new tokens. They're going to be worth millions of dollars. All they have to do is blah 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 blah, what every other shitcoin says, right? And then we're going to sell you a mining rig for it, and the mining rig is only $5,000. And I'm
Oh my
like,
god.
okay. And then they go and talk about why mining rigs are expensive, which they are expensive. So I'm like, okay.
They are. They
So,
are.
and then they're like, and if you buy one of these mining rigs and then you tell your friends and two of them buy a mining rig, well, we're going to give you a little bit of their money. And if their friends,
Oh my
and I'm
god.
like, guys, you're literally, you're giving me the pyramid scheme spiel. And they're like, no,
Yeah.
no, no, but just listen. What if their friends tell their two friends? And I'm like, and then they had
So
a,
it wasn't the fact that the coin was valuable. It was the fact that you could pyramid your scheme into profit.
oh my
Like
God, it was so bad.
that's crazy.
It was
Wow.
so bad. They literally had a PowerPoint presentation up and showed me a diagram of a pyramid scheme and acted like it was the coolest thing ever. Like, here's you, and here's your two friends, and the two lines and two friends, and here's their two friends and the two lines. And I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you do? So
Yeah, that's funny.
that pissed me off because I was like, okay, you're taking my interest in Bitcoin, and now you're trying to steal $5,000 from me, and then it's
And
like
these were friends of yours.
so yeah, like acquaintances, not like friends we hang
Okay.
out with every
Okay.
day.
All
Friends
right. Okay.
the friends you talk to every 9 months and say, hey, how's it going or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I was just curious.
Um, like yeah, not
So
a friend of a friend that became a better friend. Anyways.
so you're lying here on my couch. Do you think perhaps that this interaction with these scam artists have led you to a deep-seated fear and hatred of altcoins? Is that the problem with you here? Yeah?
So I would think that would be it. And I'm just gonna pretend like you're actually helping me. Because I thought that's what it was too. I was like, okay, maybe I'm just jaded from this experience. Maybe there are some good altcoins to look into. And so I've been diving in. I'm like, okay, well, what is Ethereum? Why is it valuable? And that's when I
Hmm.
realized, okay, well, the Ethereum network is valuable. The Ethereum tokens are just a bonus of the Ethereum network. Like, all it is like when this network runs, these tokens are produced. You can buy these tokens. Don't worry about the network. It's still running whether you own them or not. So that's when I was like, oh, that's weird. The other funny thing about Ethereum is that the gas fees that you're talking about, basically
Yeah.
for a transaction to happen, for a smart contract to go off. Okay, this is all like badly researched. So anybody in the comments, tell me I'm wrong and keep teaching.
Looking at you, that one guy that we both know.
Yeah, just keep learning
Yeah.
me
I
about
don't want
this
to call him
stuff.
out, but he's in our Discord.
Yeah, join our Discord. The Ethereum network runs, okay, I make a smart contract with somebody, and in 10 years' time, that contract's going to go off. And in order for that contract to go off, ethers need to be used. So you actually need the token to be used up in a way, and then that's your gas fee. So ethers are used. So if you own those ethers, then it's easier for you to do it. Otherwise, you need to buy ethers for the transaction to happen. So now you want the transaction to happen, but you need ethers to make it work. So you buy the ethers, and then it got to a point where the transaction was costing as much as it was to buy the ethers in order for the transaction to happen. Like, you want to make a smart contract go off, that's going to cost you $1,000, but you need to buy $1,000 worth of ethers in order to do it. It just makes it an irrelevant system. It's really kind of dumb. When I started looking more into it, I was just like, Ethereum. I like that I listened to a podcast on the DeFi. Oh, geez, what is their name? Anyways, the new BlockFi, and their
Yeah.
system of how
Have
they're
you have
gonna.
you signed up for them yet?
I've signed up. I'm not. I don't have any money in there, and I can. Maybe that'll be a next show. Um,
Mm, you're missing out, baby. I already made 73 cents in interest. So what about that?
I'm proud of your interest. Okay, so Ethereum.
Did you use my code at least? Did you use the code I gave you at least?
I think I did. I think I most
Because
likely
then we
did.
both get $10, I think. So
Nice.
of Bitcoin. So
Tell your friends, and then if they tell their friends, and then they tell their friends. That's another thing that I hate. Oh my god, it's just like Coinbase has a referral program, Fold has a
everyone
referral
does.
program, everything has a referral program.
Everyone
But
does. Right.
if you give that to somebody, like, even when I first told you about Coinbase, I was like, here, if you want to use Coinbase, you can use this link, but you don't have to, because, like, I felt shitty sending it. I'm like, I don't want to turn
Yeah,
them
but
off to it. You know what I mean?
that's no. See, okay, I disagree with you on that one. Well, first of all, when you first came to me, you were super gun shy, and I really feel like you were trying not to turn me off. See, I thought, you know what? I'm thinking about our first interaction now, right? Way back when you said, "Hey, man, I just you got a few minutes? I just want to talk to you about this," right?
Yeah,
And you even said, "Look, this is not a sales pitch." Like, you literally said that to me, like your opening salvo, right?
yeah.
I really do think that this interaction you had with these people, I think it really affected you quite severely.
Well,
Like, and
I've had a lot of
that's not
issues with.
bad,
I've
you
had a
know.
lot of issues with sales in the past, but I'm also
Sure.
that gets into Bitcoin isn't a sales pitch. I got in an argument with a guy on Twitter last week, and he's somebody said something about Bitcoin, and he's like, "Ha, this is a pretty shitty pitch, bro." And I just responded back by saying, "It's not a pitch. Like, I don't care if you buy Bitcoin or not. I'm just saying if you do, it's going to help you, and maybe your kids will be able to drink water in 50 years from now." Um, like, Bitcoin isn't a pitch. Nobody needs to sell Bitcoin. People
No,
just have
that's
to
not
learn
true.
about it.
That's not true, and you know that. That guy Diddy, right? What's his name? Diddy.
Didi
Um,
Taihatu? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but he's not selling. No, okay, wait, hold on. Let me change the word selling, because he's
Okay.
literally selling his Bitcoin for products and goods and services. I'm selling the idea. You just
Well,
have to
but
put the
no. That's what I was saying. Is like, because I've read articles from him where he would literally like pull up to a gas station or whatever or whatnot, and he would literally talk the owner into accepting Bitcoin for his gas. You know, like, because he was such an early adopter, he had to do it,
yeah,
and he's a believer, and
yeah,
that's fine. I still think, even I think that's what we're doing, dude. I think we're selling Bitcoin,
yeah. I
and
know.
not selling it in the sense of like, please buy our Bitcoin or whatever, but in the sense that we really believe in this. It's something you and I are both pretty passionate about, to the point where you and I will fight with each other, and then we'll still come on this podcast and we'll talk to one another like civil human beings, because we know that there's a greater purpose, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But there is a sales job going on here. Like, we're trying to give the good and the bad, right? But we're also trying to show people it's pretty good. You know what I
okay.
mean? Like, there's reasons.
So here's the thing. I think when I think of a sales pitch, the only person benefiting is the person selling. Like, obviously the person buying the thing. If you buy a car, right? The salesperson benefits because they get the commission on your car. You benefit because you get a car. Uh,
Right?
the same is true for, oh, okay, so to bring it back to shitcoins, the same is true for a lot of shitcoins. If they sell you a shitcoin, you buy in, they're benefiting because they know when the top is going to
Right.
come and they're going to sell out. With Bitcoin, we're not selling it because it's benefiting us. We're selling it because it's benefiting the person buying in and also literally everyone else on the network. So
Oh, I
like
agree with that.
the
I
more
agree.
you're helping everyone. Like I have my arms out right now. You're helping everyone instead of just yourself. So I don't. It's hard to equate that with the sales pitch idea for me.
I think what you hang on one second here. Let me just make sure because my microphone is being odd and I don't understand it. I think you're equating the sales pitch of like a timeshare, right? Like universally, that's a bad thing, right? Timeshares are pretty much just a scam, and we know that. But I think most things in life are sales pitches, right? Like
Yes.
you. So I don't look at it. Hmm. Go ahead. I'm sure you have a thought on that, but I
Okay.
just
Basically, you don't have to sell anybody. Like you don't have to sell your kids to earn dollars. They're just there. Like here, this is dollars. You need to have these to buy things. So
right.
there's no sales pitch that happened. That's what Bitcoin is. It's like you need these. You're gonna need these for to buy food and water and shelter in 5 years.
Right. You and I both believe Bitcoin is going to be the currency of the future.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do on this podcast is convince other people this is the currency of the future. Now, what we're not doing is we're not saying, hey, this is going to be the currency of the future, and we would like you to buy our mining rigs so that you can get the like
Yeah.
even if we did do that, I think we would still find a way to do that legitimately and in a way where it was actually beneficial to both parties, right?
Hmm.
I think what you're very wary of, and you should be, and let's be honest, right? You said there are 8,000 shitcoins out there, right?
Yeah.
How many of those could possibly be different enough from the other shitcoins out there to be actually valuable? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like there are so many out there that just percentage wise at least half of them, I would say, probably more, just given human nature, are literally just Ponzi schemes. They're literally just pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Probably like
saying?
8,000 of them. Yeah.
I haven't checked them all out, but I do know, like, if you do start an account with what's it called, Coinbase, right? Just a regular one, not Coinbase Pro.
Mm.
Um, it's pretty interesting,
Not a
actually. I'm
sponsor.
gonna
Not sponsored by
not
Coinbase.
sponsored, by the way, not sponsored, and we're not even going to give you our Coinbase codes, so
In
you
fact,
won't even get the
I would highly recommend you find anything else to use to
yeah.
get Bitcoin other than Coinbase.
I'm honestly, I'm so bullish on BlockFi right now. If anybody wants my BlockFi code, so we can both get $10 worth, I'm totally giving it to you. But the one cool thing that Coinbase does do is if you start an account there and you get it verified and everything else, you can do like these little 10-minute video things and it teaches you about different ones and what they do. So like I have Compound, Stellar Lumen, which is XLM, Maker, Cello, The Graph, New Cipher, right? I got all of this stuff. I got like what, nothing, like $9 free basically of all of these things. And they've all gone up actually. So again, what will I do with them? Probably cash them in and buy Bitcoin, not gonna lie.
Hmm.
But there are some people that are trying to do some interesting things in terms of um, lack of a better term, in terms of the shitcoin market. So they're trying to take this technology and do other things with it. And I think that's admirable, right? Like I have no joy or love or respect for people that are just doing Ponzi schemes. But I do think the idea, I mean, look, Bitcoin came out of nowhere, right? Who's to say that something even better might come along? Somebody might, develop a better system or something and springboard off of like I don't want to close my mind to those things because I already did that once, I guess. So this is my psychology. I knew about Bitcoin 10 years ago. I heard about it. I said that's bullshit. I'm not getting involved in that. That's stupid. What a waste of time, right? If I had just spent $10 I wouldn't be doing this podcast because I'd be freaking living on an island somewhere that I purchased with my, millions of dollars.
Hmm.
So I don't want to do that again, right? I mean, the only way you truly get better as a human being is by learning from your mistakes. My mistake was I saw new technology that I said, that sounds like bullshit to me. And I didn't know anything about it. And so I just feel like saying stuff like every other coin but Bitcoin is stupid. I feel like that defeats the actual like
Oh, I just have so many
spirit,
asshole
you
things
know?
to say. Can I just have like an asshole minute here?
Sure, have an asshole minute. Go ahead.
Okay,
I'll even mute myself. I won't even interrupt you. Go ahead.
the mistake you made by not buying Bitcoin 10 years ago is you're just making that same mistake again by buying any other coin. You should just buy Bitcoin. You are making the same mistake. Um, Bitcoin is never going to be replaced. There's never going to be something to springboard past it because it filled a need that we needed, and it changed the way the monetary system worked altogether. That has now been filled. That gap is filled. It doesn't need to change again. There's no need for a better system. Even if a better system comes along, like Litecoin right away was technically a better system, but the need it was filling, it didn't matter. It was already done. Bitcoin is a network effect. It gains more value by having more and more people on the network, and it's winning by a landslide against all the other coins drastically by leaps and bounds. There's never going to be any other coin that passes by it. It's the only thing you really need to have. Altcoins are only meant to gain profit and buy more Bitcoin. That's it. The end. Okay, asshole minutes. The asshole minute's done now.
Okay. Let me tell you a little story. A little story about a thing called the horse and buggy. Okay? That was the technology of the day. And then along came the Stanley Steamer. Okay? Stanley Steamer was an automobile. It was a horseless vehicle, horseless carriage. It was the best technology of the day. Nothing could ever be better than the Stanley Steamer. Okay? Except for every other car since then. Okay, what you're saying is doesn't even hold water. It's like look at any innovation. Okay, that's like saying okay, the Bronze Age, that's the best we were ever going to get. We're never going to get past the Bronze Age. No one's ever going to develop anything else. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Can I? Okay. So here's the thing, right? The horse and buggy turning into the car, turning into
Mm-hmm.
whatever. You take those and you break them down to what they are. All together, it's transportation, right? It's like okay,
Mm-hmm.
transportation exists. We walk, we run, we ride a horse, we drive a car, and then we find a car that drives itself. Communication, we talk, and then we find a way to talk on the phone, and then we find a way to talk on the phone anywhere in the world. The cell phone replaced the home phone. The home phone was replaced by the cordless phone. Like phones have
Right.
upgraded over time, but the idea of communication is always
Mm-hmm.
there. The idea of transportation is always there, just like the idea of money is always there. We've always needed a means of exchange. So
Okay.
Bitcoin changed the way money works in a drastic way, the same way the car changed the horse
Yes
and
and
buggy.
no. I mean, essentially, it's still the same thing. You are. What did we say in like the first episode, dude? What is money? Money is a representation of time.
Hmm.
Okay. So, yes, Bitcoin does something in a revolutionary way, but it doesn't change. It's not altered from what it actually is. It's still
Exactly.
just ducks and hay.
Hmm.
So, well, what I'm saying is the idea that somehow somebody couldn't come up with an even more revolutionary thing, and maybe not in our lifetimes. I'm not arguing that,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
I mean, but the way that technology moves, when you consider that within our lifetimes there wasn't an internet, okay?
Yeah.
That should be enough to tell you that the internet and everything that has come from that since then, they've all been these monumental leaps and bounds ahead. Technology has done things that we couldn't dream of even a lifetime ago,
Okay.
right?
So here's another point. Um, just to say how shitcoin's not going to beat Bitcoin. The same way the car was invented by not even regarding a horse at all. The person that invented the car didn't say, well, a horse has four legs, so my car should have four legs. No, they said, I'm going to put wheels on it because wheels are better. And then they said, a horse is a living thing. Well, I'm going to make it it's two completely different things. Just like Bitcoin is completely different from the government fiat money system. It's a completely different way of exchanging money. So
That's true, but it's actually, I mean, if you look at it, it's really not that much different than it's actually a throwback if you think about it, okay? From the sense of first of all, your analogy on the car thing is kind of off because the carriages had wheels. And the idea was, how can I replace this animal that dies every couple of years and I have to feed a lot of feed to, and it can break its leg and die, and then I have to buy it? How can I make a new engine essentially, right? The horse is the engine, I'm making a new engine.
yeah,
All right. And by the way, engines are measured in horsepower, so
it's
it
true.
wasn't totally lost. But my point is
Bitcoin is
that was the
measured
caveat,
in USD right now.
and it is. But the if you look back at the origins of what money was, right? Again, representation of time. Okay, it was a communal. And money changed from community to community. Okay, if I lived on the steppes of Mongolia, my goat was maybe it was worth different things than if I lived in the moors of England. Okay, so it was a community based value system, right? Bitcoin is a community-based value system that is not based on, and I will agree with you that it is very different than what we've done in terms of banking in the last couple of hundred years, right? But it's again, my only argument really is to say that it is the pinnacle of all things that will ever be in terms of finance and in terms of monetary system. I think that is, I think that just it ignores the leaps and bounds we've made technologically and culturally and socioeconomically in the entire existence of man. We've always pushed forward. We've always gone to that next horizon. And Bitcoin is a huge horizon. And I'm very excited about it. And I'm glad to be a part of this and part of this show. And I'm just arguing for the fact that I feel like, again, if you tie yourself to one thing, if you don't diversify, that it's I don't think it ends well.
Okay,
I think
okay.
it's a bad argument to
So,
have to do.
so I agree with you that Bitcoin won't be the only means of exchange decade or maybe centuries into the future. If we make it to if we make it to Mars and the moon and we're out in the galaxy, then yeah, we'll probably find a better way to use money. But Bitcoin is the money network of the internet age, which we're now in. And the fiat system was the money of the industrial age. And before that, the gold was the money of the uh, whatever the dark ages were or whatever, right? So I don't know, tell me I'm wrong, but basically the internet age doesn't need to innovate on money anymore. We found the best money possible for this
I
stage
think
of human life.
honestly,
So
I
depending on how long
every
it
time
takes
you
us to
say
get
something like that, brother, I really just I'm like the only thing that pops into my head is he's a young man who's like, he thinks he knows it all, he thinks he's seen it all, and I'm just telling you from an older guy's perspective, you ain't seen shit yet. Your mind
well,
is going to be blown. I promise you.
oh, I'm
10 years
excited.
from now, 10 years from now, you're going to be like, "What was I talking about? That's so silly. Why would I say that?" Cuz something's going to blow your mind, dude.
I
We
hope
are we
so.
are moving faster than we have ever moved as a race of people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, so
And
it's just,
owning Bitcoin kind of makes you feel like you're in the future too, which is
oh
nice.
sure. And listen, I want to be really, really, really clear here. Okay. Is Bitcoin valuable? Absolutely. Is it probably the most stable and upward trending thing that you can invest your money in?
Absolutely.
100%. I can't argue with that. And I'm not trying to. Okay. I'm just saying, if you say it's the only thing out there, I, for me, I feel like I'm making the same mistake, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I understand that. And I have one more point to make about why altcoins are bad.
okay.
Uh, so I agree with what you're saying, and that you should diversify and buy other things and look into other altcoins that are going up in value quickly. The question then becomes, can you find an altcoin that's going up in value quicker than Bitcoin is? And right now, that's hard to find. And if you do find it, that's good. But then you just realize what happens is that you take that profit, like you said you will do, and you'll put it into Bitcoin. So then the question becomes, this is my real main argument, is if you want to make money on altcoins, realize that you're going to have to make a job out of it. Like, you'll have to study all the altcoins, you'll have to know which ones are good, you'll have to know when to trade them, and it will become a full-time job. And if you don't treat it as such, you will lose money because you won't know what you're doing. If you haven't been a day trader before and you've never traded stocks, that's fine. You can learn, but just realize that there's a lot to learn there. If you just want to be prepared,
I don't think you're wrong in that. I do think actually, and I think that there are people that make their living day trading altcoins.
yeah. So and I guess that's where my altcoin thing comes with, is like, if you want to buy altcoins, don't do it
Right.
because you're going to sit on them. Do it because you're going to trade them around,
Sure.
get the most value for this one, and then trade this one to that one, and make it your job. And if you
Well,
enjoy doing that, then that's fine. I just particularly have realized I don't enjoy doing that. I'd rather spend my time doing other things. And the safer bet is to just put it all in Bitcoin, because that's, as for now anyways, for the next however long, all the profits from all the altcoins will go into Bitcoin, because that's the ultimate place to store any profits you get, unless you keep trading other coins and then you keep making profit on other coins. But eventually, when you want to buy something with all your profits, you're going to put it into the Bitcoin network.
well, and I wouldn't really I wouldn't necessarily disagree with any of that, except to say that I mean, no, actually, I don't think I can really say much against that at all. It's true, and there are, like I said, a lot of people are looking at altcoins as a day trading opportunity, which is, in my opinion, that's just more exciting, right? Like the
If you
idea that
have no other job and you have nothing else to do with your
well, I
time.
mean, a lot of people they have, but here we go. We're getting programs now where you can, with these contracts, you can fire off, these things at certain levels and just say, I want to buy it this and I'm going to sell it that, just like regular stuff. But the point is why I think it's exciting is because it gets people out of the fiat cash. That's the big thing. That's the big win. That's where the little guy can win because as we saw with the GameStop thing, which you and I kind of consciously avoided talking about on this show, um, the stock market, the current financial system as a whole is rigged. It is rigged against us, the little guys. Okay. And listen, I'm a capitalist at heart. Okay. I believe my labor should equal my value. And I don't need anybody. I don't want intervention of any kind, right? Just let me go and let me do what I can. The problem is we're not there anymore. You're not allowed to. GameStop showed us that the folly of that thinking, right? The idea that a little guy can take $500 and do something with it to better his life. Nah, you can't do that anymore. Not if you're going to play in their game. Then their game has been rigged since 1910. Okay. You play in this world, in this sandbox, you have a shot. You have a shot to save real wealth, to generate real income. Okay. And that's super exciting to me. And I don't want to piss on any of it, to be honest with you, because all of it is outside their system. And screw those guys, man. I don't care. Just be smart. Whatever you're going to do, like you said, if you're going to day trade shitcoin, you better be prepared to do the proper due diligence because otherwise you're going to get screwed,
Yeah.
right? Because that's just the way it works. If it's like if you're going to wire a house for the first time and you're not even going to bother to read an electrician's manual, you're probably going to kill yourself. Same thing here. If you don't bother to read the prospectus on these different shit coins and everything else and learn what you're investing in, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt your family, and that's stupid, and you shouldn't do it. Also, just for the record, why Bitcoin is not a financial advice provider. You should not take anything we're saying as actual financial advice. Please do your own research, make your own decisions. And now I pass it off back to 7 Foot Feet.
Yeah, do as much research as possible. And that's the other thing, is we're hopefully talking to people that are brand new to Bitcoin or just kind of relatively into it. And so I would recommend you spend most of your time after listening to this podcast, find another podcast, find more videos, and learn about Bitcoin and understand why it's as awesome as I believe it to be and why so many other people do. And then once you fully understand, well, first buy it and then start researching it. Not financial advice, but you should do that. Um,
I
start
actually kind of
researching
agree.
and start researching it and then realize it, and then after that then start looking into shit coins and Ethereum, but not until you have a full understanding of Bitcoin, because oh my god, you just it's so you can make so many mistakes with shit coins. It's terrifying. If I can get anything through to anybody, it's basically don't buy any other altcoin until you've bought Bitcoin first and you have that. Oh my god, I just don't just don't hurt yourself and buy bad shit coins, because
So I agree with that 100%. And I want to caveat, I want to springboard onto two things, or to springboard off of two things there. Number one, if you have questions, join our Discord. Okay, there will be a link right below where you can join, and we'll put it in our bio or something like that, where you can join the Discord and ask questions. And we're happy to help. And there's a lot of people in there; they're happy to help. And Jeff will probably be really mean about it, and I'll be really nice, and that'll be fine.
I'm
The
really
other
mean,
thing,
but it makes me happy to be mean because I'm
all right,
just
I know
trying
it's
my best.
fine. You're just a cranky old man. It's fine.
Not cranky. Leave me
He,
alone.
the other thing I would say is absolutely, if the first thing you do when you start getting into crypto space is you go ahead and you buy some no-name coin that no one's ever heard of, oh, that is a big oof, friends. That is
It's bad. Bad
if
news.
you're
You're
new to the
not
space,
smart. You're not smart if you do that.
yeah,
You
you're
haven't
not
found
outsmarting anybody. There's
you
a
haven't
reason
found a
why.
gem.
Right. And let's be honest, Bitcoin it has a couple of things going for it. Okay. Number one, longevity. It's been around a long time. It's been through the ups and downs, it's been through the trenches. People have bought in, people have gotten out, but it's stayed around. It has legs. Okay. Number two, those legs have grown much, much longer in the last 6 months. Okay. Some big dogs are getting into this game. Okay.
6 months is, yeah. You could even say the last like 2.5 months is where it really started going.
Yeah, unfortunately, just after I got into it is when it started to really shoot up. But the
That's not
point is,
unfortunate.
no, it
That's
is for I would have much rather bought some Bitcoin at 7,000 than at 30,000. That would have
oh,
been much better.
don't worry. In a year, you're gonna be saying, "Oh, I'm glad that I was buying at 50 instead of 250."
I know the value of the difference between 30 and 7. So, uh I don't know. Anyways, the point is don't think you guys are going to find some magical coin that no one's ever heard of that's going to suddenly shoot through the moon. It's that the chances of that, honestly, at that point, you are literally just buying I almost said Powerball, but I don't think, do you guys have Powerball up in Canada? I
We
don't know. Is
have
that a
we
thing?
have lotteries and stuff, but
You still
yeah,
have lottery. Yeah,
yeah,
it's buying a lottery ticket at
it
that
is.
point, and it's gonna be just as valuable probably at the end of the day too. And what do you do with a lottery ticket that doesn't win? You throw it in the
Throw it in the
garbage.
garbage, just like
Okay,
all the
so
altcoins. Here, I have one positive thing to say
all
about
right,
altcoins. I wrote this is the analogy of the day. Bitcoin is like water, altcoins are like soda pop. You can drink them, they taste good, they get you excited, but if that's all you drink, you're probably going to die. And water is just so refreshing and delicious. It's so good when you're
okay, stop,
deserted on an island, just the
stop,
water. So
stop. People are reaching for their dials to turn this shit off right now. All right, I do want to say one last thing about this subject, okay? And that is, at least I have gotten you to the point, and it's on tape now. You can't take it back unless you delete it because you have the copy. And if you do, I'm going to edit it anyways. So I'll make it happen. But I at least got you to the point tonight. I heard it, I caught it, and you guys can go back and listen to it. He said, and I quote, he said, he said shitcoins or Ethereum. He actually segregated Ethereum from shitcoins. So
oh
that,
god.
in my view, is a small victory for me, Doug. I win tonight. Thank you very much. Insert applause line right here. Okay.
And the emotion you have for Ethereum is why it's such a shit coin. But that's okay. I'm sure
No,
I
I
did.
just like the fact that I got you to move off the dime a little bit, man. That's all.
That was definitely a slip of the tongue.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'll make sure to never do that again.
That's how convincing
I
I
think
am.
that's me trying to not be an asshole. I'm just like, here, I'll say this so that he feels better.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
got to speak my mind.
Some of us would call that a Freudian slip.
Some of it we
Okay.
just call it
What
just me
what's
trying my
next?
best.
What are we doing next here? Should we do a
Well,
price check or
yeah, let's do a quick price check. That's a good
that's fine.
idea.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably close it out. We can play my fun little game of the day if you want.
Yeah, do we have a no coiner to dunk on? I'm sure we do, actually.
We do,
I
but
actually no, we do. I definitely want to dunk on this guy
okay,
because
we can dunk on him.
he
Okay, the
irritated the
price
hell
I'm
out of me.
seeing today, and guys, we usually record on Mondays. This week we recorded on Wednesday, so it has gone up since last Monday. So we're actually looking at a week and a half in progress rather than a week. But I'm reading $52,363.62 for one Bitcoin in today's.
That's up more than it was. That's up 1,000 from yesterday, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
I'm at 52,326 right now.
yeah, so same, very close to yeah,
Very close.
52,
Very
3.
close.
Yeah, so it seems like it's very close on different networks. I'm still trying to
Yeah.
figure that out.
I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not sure how they do that, but for 52,000, man, that's pretty sweet.
52 and a half, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, all right, total speculation time. Do you think we get to 60 by the end of the month?
Um,
You don't even have to have a reason. I don't even need a
what
reason. I just want to.
60 by the end of
I'm
the
just.
yeah, we'll be at 60
Yeah.
by the end of the month.
So by March 1, we're at 60.
I think so.
Well,
What do you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and speculate. Uh, I think there's gonna be, and I have no reason to believe this. I don't read any charts or anything like that. I'm just sticking my finger in the wind, and I'm gonna say 58. 58 by the end of the month.
Okay, that's fun. That's fun. We'll see. Time will tell. It's very
Well, I mean,
exciting.
we could both be right. We could both be wrong. But you know what we'll both be?
Happy?
Owning Bitcoin.
That's
What
true.
we'll both be.
Yeah.
So, all right. Can we do dunk on a no coiner?
Yeah,
Because
we can dunk on a
goddamn,
no
this
coiner.
guy just pissed me
I
off.
did watch it yesterday.
Are you watching the? Which one are we talking about now?
The former Greek finance minister.
Oh,
Is that him?
this
Okay,
guy.
now hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. I need to say a few words first.
Okay, you go ahead. You
I
go ahead.
am married to a beautiful Greek woman.
Oh, hey, listen to
So
me.
please,
Hold on. I
please.
am not. I am a big fan of the Greek people. This is not. This is not an anti-Greek rant at all.
Yeah, I'm
But
just saying.
by the way,
They're
guys, you can
good people.
find. We have in our Discord channel, link in the description. We have as one of the things in our channel is hot no corner takes. Okay, so it's just a little channel where we just like to drop little tidbits of people that are hating on Bitcoin for whatever stupid reason that they have.
And then we can
Okay.
dunk on them. Okay,
Okay,
you
so
go ahead
real
and
quick,
dunk.
yeah, I'm gonna real quick. Greece's former finance minister Yanis Varoufakis, fuck this, yeah, said that replacing fiat with Bitcoin will make financial crises harder to deal with. He pointed to an uneven distribution of BTC and its limited supply. Blah 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 blah. Okay, long story short, this guy, this is why right here. Honestly, tell me I'm wrong, Jeff. Go ahead. You can tell me I'm wrong. This guy right here is why I'm so excited about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular. This guy doesn't like Bitcoin because it's going to be, what did he say? Hold on. Let me scroll down to the bottom here. He says something about how
It's going to be blockchain, not Bitcoin. Is that what you're talking about?
No. Well, he likes the idea. He likes the idea of the blockchain technology.
Yeah, just like all the
But
shitcoiners do.
But here's what he says. Replacing fiat money with Bitcoin would take us back to a postmodern version of 19th century America. By the way, just for you history buffs out there, what was a postmodern version of 19th century America? That was the gold standard for America. That was where fiat money was actually pinned to something as opposed to just being printed into oblivion, okay? Let me start over again. because I'm so irritated with this guy. Replacing fiat money with Bitcoin would take us back to a postmodern version of 19th century America, not exactly a prospect socialists should go to the barricades for. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's it right there. Yes, listen, guys. If you're a socialist, I'm sorry, you're not gonna. At least in this half of the podcast, you will find no quarter. You will find no friends. I have
Dude,
no. I don't want to
Bitcoin.
speak for you.
Yeah,
So
Bitcoin helps. It doesn't matter if you're a socialist or it doesn't matter which side of the government you're on. It doesn't anything. Bitcoin helps everyone, and it has its
well,
uses
the
for
problem
everyone.
is
That's why it's
this is
funny.
this is why because this guy's a socialist, and what he's upset about is that he can't control the money
Yeah,
anymore.
I know. That's
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 why he's upset.
so stupid.
And they're literally admitting it. We don't like the Bitcoin. I don't know how to do a Greek accent at all. I don't know,
Nobody
whatever.
does. Greeks don't even
Nobody
know
does.
how.
But we don't like the Bitcoin because we can't control it. That's literally one of the selling points of Bitcoin. Like it's like in my book, number one.
Yeah,
So
you control it yourself. Nobody. Like the
nope.
whole. Oh man, have we had a talk? We have to do a show about just how money works. Like I know we said what it is, but have we really said how the fiat system works yet? Because we can get
No,
into that.
like in terms of like what delving into Jekyll creature from Jekyll Island or anything like that, or
Yeah, yeah, we can get. Maybe
no,
we'll
we
talk
really
about.
we could do the other thing we should do. I just had it in my head and I forgot it already. Um, Anyways, go ahead. Yeah, we should do a how money works kind of a thing. Absolutely. Oh, we should really talk about at some point. God damn it, I lost it again. This is ridiculous.
It's okay.
Anyways, go on. Sorry. I'm
But yeah,
sorry.
this guy is dumb. He's saying, Jeff Bezos will still control the monopoly and all this. And it's true that whoever goes into Bitcoin with the most amount of Bitcoin will have the most Bitcoin, but also it'll just make all the other Bitcoin more valuable. Like it doesn't matter who buys in. If somebody goes in and buys, oh man, that's another hypothetical question I've been trying to figure out. What if the Fed just prints 100 trillion, 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 trillion dollars and then just puts it all in Bitcoin? All that happens is Bitcoin's value skyrockets. They can only
Mm-hmm.
buy so much. Everybody benefits, but the dollar just plummets to hell, which is basically what's happening. And it's just, what if they actually make that choice to do it? That's when it gets scary. That's when anybody not holding Bitcoin is in very, very, very bad shape, and that's what makes me
Well,
nervous.
and no, that's absolutely true. But that is one of the things where we've talked about this a little bit before. But the idea that, uh, hang on one second, I have to. Hold on. One of the things that we have to, in my opinion, okay, and this actually goes back to the early part of the conversation when we were talking about sales and why are Jeff and Doug selling this? Okay, in my view, my reasoning, okay, for doing this show, okay, for talking to every person I meet on the street about Bitcoin, okay, and for everybody that I go to them and I say why Bitcoin, okay, it's because the more people that have it, the faster it will get adopted as currency. Okay. Once it's fully adopted as currency across the board, okay, then it doesn't matter how much Jeff Bezos has. It doesn't matter how much a government buys up because it's still valuable to me because I can spend it anywhere. You see
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So go ahead, let the government print up a bajillion dollars and buy up as much Bitcoin as they freaking can, because that just means everything in my envelope is that much more valuable and I can buy stuff with it. That's
Exactly.
the point. The faster this becomes a currency that is accepted across the board, that is when everybody wins. And
I,
that is why we're telling you, please investigate it, figure it out, buy some Bitcoin.
yeah.
Even if it's just $10, just buy some Bitcoin.
Like we've talked about this before, but like I would 100% accept Bitcoin for all my labor. Anything when
Yep.
I go to work and somebody said, "Hey, can I pay in Bitcoin?" I will say yes instantly. It's not a problem. All I have to do, I can already pay my bills in Bitcoin. I've already almost be able to buy, most everyday things once the cards come out. All I have to do is convince my landlord to let me pay my rent in Bitcoin, and I don't need to own any fiat dollars ever again. So it's pretty
Right.
sweet.
Right. But you understand what I'm saying? Like the once we get to that point where anybody, because I think you've had to negotiate that, right? Like that hasn't just happened.
For my bills.
Yeah, we never talked about it, so I don't really know.
Oh, there's just there's a program through an exchange. The exchange is Bull Bitcoin. That's where I buy my Bitcoin, and they have a program called Bills. You punch in where your bill is going to, what your account is, and then you put in your wallet ID, and then you send it, and then it pays the bill.
Do you lose anything on that exchange, or
Nope.
like they don't take a fee or a...
I think there's probably a small like transaction fee or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We should get them as a sponsor, and we could pump them up.
Yeah. Well, I talked to the guy. He may be listening to it right now. He says he's listening.
Oh.
So, what's up, Bull Bitcoin guy? If you're listening.
Hey, Bull Bitcoin guy. Welcome to this podcast.
We are open for sponsorships. Okay, should we go to the game of the
only
day?
in Bitcoin. We're only taking Bitcoin as sponsorship.
That's right.
Okay. That's right.
Do you want to go to the game of the day?
What do you want to do?
Okay, it's the game of the day. This is the first game of the day, hopefully not the last.
Okay.
The game of the day today is called Alt or Not. I should have just called it Shit or Not. But I'm going to give you a altcoin name, and you have to tell me if it is or is not an altcoin. There's some real ones, there's some fake ones, okay? Does that sound good?
I love this, actually. This is actually... Okay, by the way, before we do this, I wanna say something really fast, super fast. So just so you guys understand how this show works, generally Jeff kind of writes the not a script, but like an outline for the show, and pretty much everything you've heard has been a spontaneous conversation. We both feel that is really important to make it relatable and important. But so this is the first time I've heard of any of these questions. And literally 5 minutes before we started recording the podcast tonight, Jeff was like, I want to do a game. And I'm like, all right, whatever, let's do a game. So I have no idea what to expect right now. I feel like I'm about to get my pants pulled down in front of the girls' gym locker kind of thing, but that's fine. All right, let's go.
Cool. Thanks for sticking to the script so well. Nobody will ever know that it was written beforehand.
Do you see how well I read that, though? It's totally believable, right?
It's very believable.
Oh my god! Honestly, I need an Emmy. Do they give Emmys for podcasts?
Dun 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 dun! Alt or not? The first alt is cake. Is cake an altcoin or not an altcoin?
Altcoin.
Altcoin, you're right. And do you know, for bonus points, do you know the network that it runs on?
Ethereum.
No, it's the Pancake Swap network.
Oh, god dang it! I actually knew that. I actually literally knew that.
Come on, Pancake Swap.
Oh, so stupid.
What the actual heck is that?
Yeah, okay, alright.
Okay.
Alright, so wait, let's just recap that. So Cake is the altcoin.
And Pancake Swap is the network.
The network is
Pancake Swap.
Pancake Swap, okay.
Yeah, you're going to need to remember that for the final exam later. Okay.
Very good, very good.
The next altcoin is OMG. OMG. Is that
altcoin?
That is an altcoin. And do you know
Thank you.
Do you know the network?
Hold on.
Well, don't Google it. Like, just
No. I'm gonna say Instagram influencer network.
No, it's the OMG network. Is literally what it's called. The OMG network. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Altcoin number 3, the Mario altcoin.
Not an altcoin.
Not an altcoin. You got it. Well done. I thought I might have that. Okay, not Mario, but Link. Is Link an altcoin?
Link is an altcoin.
Link is an altcoin. Do you know what the network's called?
Zelda.
It's the Chainlink network. And if you're a shitcoiner, if you like Ethereum, honestly, check out Chainlink. It's one of those that's like, oh, this is actually going to do stuff for the world, so that's cool.
Do you have a link you could send me so I can put it in the description?
No. Just look up Chainlink. I actually haven't done.
Put more work on my table. That's cool.
No,
That's
I'll put it in the Discord. I'll find some stuff about it. I haven't done that much research in it, but I just know that it's like it's a pretty cool network of what they're doing.
We're information, man. We're giving people information. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. The next one, the BCH coin.
That's a tough one. I want to say that is an offshoot of Bitcoin, so it's a coin.
BCH is... Yes, it's Bitcoin Cash, which is actually one of
Yes!
the...
Yes! I called it! Oh my god, I'm so good at this game! I hope there's an awesome prize at the end. All right.
Bitcoin Cash is the first... what's it called? The first
Fork.
first fork of Bitcoin,
Yep.
which
Yep, that's
Kim.com is
from.
behind. Yeah, and he's working towards making it something that's actually valued at $725 right now, which isn't too shabby. But it's basically just took Bitcoin and then they tried to mess with the Bitcoin main blockchain, and then
Oh wait, no. We should actually do We should do a show kind of around that a little bit. How forking works and stuff like that.
We can talk about forking. Everybody needs to know how a good fork happens.
Oh god, yeah, forking's amazing.
We could fork it up.
God dang, I got 5 kids. I mean, forking. I mean, that has nothing to do with it, but I'm just saying, forking's awesome.
So we'll do a forking show sometime in the future.
We should. We really should, because it's kind of interesting how that whole thing works with the community, and yeah, I think it's interesting.
Community forks are really cool. Yeah.
Do you have an altcoin for me or
one more altcoin?
All right, here we go.
Waves.
I think here's my phone a friend kind of a thing. I think that sounds very similar to another one, but it is not one. I'm going to say not an altcoin.
I got you with that one. It is an altcoin, and it runs on the Waves
bastard.
network. Yeah, I know. I was surprised, but I literally was trying to think of words that wouldn't be altcoins, and then I put it into the search, and I'm like, oh, Waves is literally a coin. Come on, there's so many.
Wow. Well, there's 8,000 of them, dude.
Yeah, there's 8,000 of them.
That's not bad, right?
That's not bad. So what'd you do? You got 4 out of 5.
5 out of 6?
4 out of 5.
5
out of 6.
Okay.
It's not bad.
I feel good about that. I feel like I'm learned. Like nice. I know some things.
Awesome. And with that...
Wait, no, hold on. I need you to do me a favor, because I can't pull it up, but we actually did have a comment from last week's.
We had a few comments. One comment I want to speak on is a guy corrected us in saying that we were talking about eCoin, and eCoin, sure enough, is an actual crypto. So,
I feel like I really need to apologize for that, because I was the one saying eCoin all the time, and that is a massive misnomer. eCoin is actually an altcoin. And so to apply that term to all of the coins, not acceptable. And
so I think the terminology we'll use this way forward, which is what most people use, not just me, Bitcoin, is Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
Right. And
that's
right.
Yeah, Bitcoin
and of course shitcoin.
Yeah. So Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, because
but I think that was Justissimo or Justice, yeah.
Was it? Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know everybody in your, because a lot of these names.
But that was in our that was on our YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
By the way, guys, we're on YouTube, Spotify, all the good stuff. Just make sure you follow us everywhere so you don't miss a single episode.
Yeah. Was there any other comment you wanted to? Was that the one you were talking about?
That was the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's good then. Was that the one? That one comment that we have? Is that the one that you were talking about? Yeah. That's pretty good though. That's pretty good.
But I mean, somebody took the time to kind of call us out.
I do appreciate it.
Actually call me out. It was called.
Well, it's good. I didn't know. It was calling. We were both trying to figure it out for ourselves, and we're all about learning here. So we learned.
We really are. So, guys, if you have any comments on anything that we've said so far tonight, please leave a comment. We might read it next week. Actually, if you're the only person, we'll probably definitely read it because, we like content, so it's good.
We like content. We like comments. We like Bitcoin.
That's right. It's all the things.
All of the things.
Right. Anything else we need to do here?
No, I'm good to say au revoir and good night until next time. Thanks for listening, and we appreciate you guys. And have a happy week until the next time. Oh, if you have any suggestions on other things you want us to talk about, leave those in the comments as well, because we're always looking for ideas
or comments or criticisms. Actually, if you have criticisms, you can just go ahead and email us at askwhybitcoin@gmail.com, and Jeff will answer those. That's fine. I don't like criticism.
I want to get better. Criticism is good.
He likes to be yelled at.
I started this conversation with you criticizing me. Okay, guys.
Thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Bye-bye.